Hey folks, welcome to my next project. I don't know squat about snowmobiles, but I'm hoping all my experience with ATVs and dirt bikes and jet skis and all that help me out here. It's a 2-cylinder liquid-cooled Polaris Indy 440. I got it for free. It was sitting in a buddy's backyard under a tree for 12 years. Ran when parked. It's got birds' nests, other nests. Track seems decent. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. A couple little cracks, but you know, it's there. Hopefully it's good enough to use. The goal of this thing is pretty much just to get it operational. I want to bring it to the cottage, pull the kids in toboggans, and just mess around on the lake with it. Has a few problems that I already know about. My buddy said it's leaking coolant. He said it was leaking coolant from the head gasket. I'm pretty sure it just needs a new cap. That's one thing. Thumb paddle's missing. And the pull cord is pulled. Oh, also the steering is completely stuck. I don't know why, but I'm going to have to figure out what is seized. All right, I got this thing tucked in behind the curtain. Heater's running, heats up a little bit quicker back here. I'm gonna clean up some leaves and I'm gonna dig in on the recoil. Got the airbox out. She's filthy dirty, but it's not a basket case. This thing has been unmessed with. It's just been sitting for a long time, collecting all this grime. Yeah. Ah, that must be a water pump. Yikes. Hopefully none of that's important. That's a good sign. Guess I need a phosphor. Gives me an opportunity to clean this thing up anyway. Now that I hit a bit of a dead end with the recoil, I want to pop open one of these carburetors to see what it looks like. I know what you're saying, just rebuild it, man, but I don't want to spend more on this thing than I need to. Oh, that looks pretty good. It certainly doesn't look bad from what little I can see. Very clean in there. I'll stuff some toilet paper in the carburetors. I'm decently happy with their condition for now. All right, got the scope. Holy moly. This thing's hard to drive. Freak sakes. Okay. Looks pretty decent. Oh, that's a good sign. I see some oil scrubbing on the side. Frig sakes. Well, ultimately what I'm looking for here is corrosion, and I don't see too much. Looks like a little bit of wear on that wall, but nothing that's not to be expected on a machine with 7,000 kilometers. Am I doing this right? Okay. Alrighty. That is gross looking. Oh my goodness. That's going to need some attention for sure. So it appears that the steering shaft goes into, this guy goes into a sleeve of some sort. You can just see it down there. And I'm guessing that's where it's stuck, because all of this moves just fine. But I'm gonna squirt some WD down in there, and then I'm gonna try and whack it basically where that nut is. Here's my drift. Just gonna whack it right there, try and shake it loose. Don't know if this will help, but I put some tension on the handlebars so that as I'm whacking it this way, I've already got a bit of a load on the shaft, kind of like a spring in tension. Pretty early in the game to be pulling out the air hammer, but see what you gotta do. Steering's coming out. I'm learning. My plan was to, worst case scenario, cut this thing open, clean out all the crap, and then weld it back together. But I'm not gonna be able to do that because it's aluminum, which I think is a bit of a design flaw because steel and aluminum are dissimilar metals, and dissimilar metals don't get along. So when a 30-year-old snowmobile, when it hasn't been greased in 30 years, it dries up in here, and then you get galvanic corrosion. Getting a little bit. Look at that. It's getting pretty good. I've got about 40 degrees of rotation out of it so far. I tried to put a new grease nipple in the front, but there's just not enough meat, so I flipped it over. Of course, I can't leave it there. The plan is to pump it full of grease, get it moving, pull the nipple out, and then reinstall it. And I'm out of grease. Awesome. Grease gun hooked up. I've been pumping it, and out of the 3 holes I drilled, a lot of the crap that's been back there is starting to come out. And check it out. That's pretty well good enough for me, which I am quite happy with, to be completely honest. Onward. While I get the handlebars and the vise, I figure I may as well try and get this clutch off. Not sure what I'm doing here. I did see a couple videos where guys did the water method. You basically point the clutch towards the ceiling, fill it with water, and then put in a larger bolt, because I guess there's threads here, which compresses the water, which pops the clutch off. Well, not compresses the water, but you know what I mean. But for $25, I'm gonna give this guy a try. Fresh out of the Amazon van. See how she goes. Nice to see it's catching lots of threads. Oh, there we go. I know. You don't need to tell me that this is the wrong way to do it. All right. I'm gonna put a bit of a load on it and then whack it. See what happens. I've never used this type of puller, but on a 3-jaw puller, it always helps to put a bit of a load on it, and then you just whack it on the end, and usually the shock wave pops it off of the taper. There we go. You see it jump back? Hey, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Looks like I engaged about that much, maybe 2.5 inches worth of thread. Pretty stoked about this. More so for repeatability if I ever have to take this thing off again. You got an easy way to do it right here. Now I gotta clean this up. Quick update. I just pulled out the drain plugs. Yes, these motors have drain plugs. One there and one under here. This side, a couple drips of oil came out, totally normal. This side, I had about a tablespoon of straight green coolant come out of it, and now it's a bit of a mix of oil and coolant. My guess is the head gasket on this thing is chooched. I've got my recoil spring. I'm gonna assemble that. And next thing I'm gonna do is a compression test, because if I have a blown head or base gasket, that could be why I'm getting coolant down into the crankcase. All right, here goes nothing. I'm gonna try and put it in with the wire on. I'm kind of guessing right now, but at the moment, I'm sort of eyeballing it. Open end of the hook faces the where the rope comes out, because it's gonna wind up this way and then snap back. All right, I'm gonna hold it down And my safety squint's engaged. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Cool. All right, no biggie. I'm sure it's in all the way. Can't have that flying out. All right, pop this bad boy in. Get it to engage. There we go. Got the wrong starter rope, 1/4 inch too thick. And then I got this one, 5mm, too thin. And then I got a third one, which was also too thin. So I'm just gonna run this and screw it. Regarding this one, holy moly, man. Anything that needs a pull cord that fat should probably just have electric start. Well, while I'm into it this far, this thing sort of looks like it was in a flood. I know it wasn't. So I don't know how all this water got in there through the top of the pulley, I guess. It's not waterproof. But I'm gonna pull this apart and see how the electronics look. Might be pleasantly surprised. Guess that's what you get for trying to save $10 on a tool. I'll have to give it the angle grinder special. A little bit of grinder therapy, I got it to work. Let's see if we can pop it off. That's 2 for 2 for the Amazon. See this together for the first time. Oh, baby. Let that focus. Yikes. Well, most of what's in there is copper. So we'll clean it up a bit and go from there. Holy moly. Let's get them all. I already got the other guys. They turned out pretty decent. Halfway decent at least. I believe the torque spec on this one is somewhere between 2 and 3 Ooga Doogas. Yeah, 120. $120. Carb number 1's looking pretty good. A little bit of schmoo in there, but not too bad. In here it looks not bad either. I haven't even started cleaning this thing. There's the seat, the needle in the seat, and it moves up and down. Doesn't get hung up or nothing. So it's not gummy. It's just a little dirty. It's been sitting for a long time. So I'm gonna take some brake clean, head outside. Sorry, carb cleaner, head outside and just spray it through all the passageways. All right, I got the carbs installed, along with a thumb throttle, which I didn't have before. It's not the correct one, but it was the cheapest one, which I suppose makes it the correct one. Gotta go find some drill bits now. Pretty pathetic drill bit set I'm working with here. All right, turns out all my drill bits are in the wrong spots, and for the most part, they're all worn off. Anyway, 3/16 is going to be my lowest setting, just a little bit smaller than 0.19, which is what I need. As far as 0.21, I don't have the drill bit. I don't know where it is. I probably broke it and never replaced it. So we're just going to eyeball it. All right, I just checked the previous adjustment of the oiler and it's off a touch at idle, but at wide open throttle, it's freaking bang on. So I'm gonna leave it as is and hope for the best. See if we can clean this up some. Not too bad. Not bad. Doesn't appear to be locked up. we go. Top off the fuel tank with some fresh dinosaur juice, and then I think we'll be ready to tug this thing. For a first kick, I'm gonna run it out of the can. I was also able to confirm that the fuel pump is pumping. All right, here we go. First start, fuel on. There we go. That ain't good. There we go. Hey folks, it's the next day. I'm actually getting ready to go to work right now. But last night, after I failed at getting this thing started, I saw one dude. He said he unplugged this black wire coming from the stator, and he got spark back. So I'm going to give that a try. Holy moly, okay. I got spark back. Also, with that unplugged, my start-stop switch doesn't do jack. All right, let's try that again. So she runs. Actually sounds like it's idling pretty damn good right now. Because this isn't doing anything at the moment, I had to actually plug this guy back in to get it to shut off. But holy smokes, folks. Holy smokes indeed. So here's a pretty basic diagram of what I'm working with. Here is my on-off switch with the safety switch, and here is the black wire that I disconnected, allowing it to run. It's basically a loop that goes through all of this, and to be able to run, we need an open between here. That's why when this is disconnected, it's able to run, which also explains why when this is open, that I wasn't able to shut off the machine because I'm taking it out of the loop. Well, I found a problem. Remember how I cheaped out and got this throttle for 10 bucks instead of buying the proper $50 one? There is my safety switch. The throttle doesn't even come close to touching it. And if I hold it in with a screwdriver, this baby fires right up. All right, I figured it out. I chopped both black wires going to the two switches. One of them isn't good enough, you have to cut them both. Not too bad. Domes look good. Cylinders at first glance look quite good. So this is the side of the case where I had my coolant, and you look down in there, it looks a little milky. All right, got a new gasket, small holes on the clutch side, and it actually says up right there. All right, last thing to check. Is the clutch going to squeeze? And will it run off of fuel from the tank? a success. Oh, sorry about the hand. Oh, it works. Like I said, I don't know jack about snowmobiles, so I can't tell you if that's engaging at a high RPM or not, but certainly seems to be running pretty good. I sprayed a bunch of dry graphite into the clutch, so I'm hoping that with a little bit of use, it'll loosen up. I had to put a cozy on my beer to stop it from freezing. Yeah. Well, if that ain't a sight for sore eyes. I was getting set up to start filming this unit, and I made it about halfway around the house and got stuck. All right, let's get this dirty girl unstuck. There's a lot less snow on the lake, so if I can get it unstuck, I'll head up the hill, loop back around, and then go out to the lake. All right, I scooped up all the snow around it. I'm going to try to blast up that hill, and we'll see how far I make it. I'm not super optimistic that I'll make it. That's about what I expected. This is as far as I made it. Got up the hill, got stuck there, spun it around, and then got stuck here. I'm losing daylight, so I'm thinking I'm gonna leave it here and chug a beer. Wouldn't be a proper snowmobile video without a proper fire, right? Thanks guys for following along with this project here. If you like this sort of thing, again, please like and subscribe. Every little bit counts, and I appreciate every one of them. All right, friends, here she is. Beauty. Lots of patina, that's for sure. It's running pretty good. The fuel pump's leaking. That's my own fault for not rebuilding it. I bought a kit and everything, and I just decided I didn't feel like doing it. So now I get to do it outside in the cold, but that's all right. Starts decent. It started on the 4th pull this morning. It's minus 21 degrees Celsius out. It gets stuck a lot, but that's not really the machine's fault. I think that's more of an operator thing, but I mean, who's to say, right? Let's see if I can get this unit spun around. There we have it, folks. Free Snowmobile. This will be its resting place for the next little while. I've decided to remove the fuel pump. I'm gonna bring it home and rebuild it in the garage. It's just a little too frosty out here for me to be working that hard. But yeah, there she is. Runs good. Once it's warmed up, it starts. First pull, I'm pretty sure. Let's give it a shot. One hand. There she is in all its glory. She's pretty clapped out. I'm not going to rebuild it any further than it is. Just something for the kids to play with on the lake. Now let's head back to the shop and see how much a free snowmobile actually costs. All right, we made it back to the shop, and as promised, and to wrap this one up, I've added up the parts it took to get this free sled ripping. As you can see at the bottom of the whiteboard, $148.10 is what it took to get this thing from being covered in leaves, hidden under a tree for 12 years, to making a lap around the cottage and getting stuck a bunch of times. Seems pretty cheap, but it really depends on what you plan on doing. If you consider the things on the right, maybe you're better off finding something for $1,000. For me, 148 bucks. It's great for the kids. Have lots of fun with it. This was a fun one for sure. I love winter-based projects. It just motivates me to get out of the living room in the winter. It was a fun one for sure. First snowmobile project, and also my first Polaris product that I've ever worked on. If you'd like to support me so I can take on more projects like this, liking and subscribing is honestly, at this stage, probably the best thing that you can do. I get excited every time I see a new subscriber, and I'm not even kidding. Middle of the night, if I get a notification, I'm pumped. Anyway, on that, I'm gonna go on Marketplace, see what else I can find. Cheers, guys.